Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late January 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Cappies in late January? We're moving into February shortly, Aquarius season, but what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cappy in late January. What's the vibe for my good friends? And again, I hope you all had a really great birthday. Whether it was a quiet one or you went out and partied it up a little bit, I hope it was very kind to you. But let's get this card going here. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. So it's big Queen of Cups vibes. And yeah, the deck I'm using here, it's not a tarot deck. It is an oracle. But whenever this card shows up, I always say she just screams Queen of Cups to me. And if you know about the symbolism, there's a lot of similarities here. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, it's a beautiful piece of imagery, right? I love the art here. And we have this lovely lady, looks like she's sitting in a throne. There's this little koi pond underneath her, and she's dipping her toe in. Now, again, Queen of Cups. So what does that archetype represent? If you're not connected to a water sign, and remember, it's not gender specific, because it can be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But to me, queens always represent the internal world. And when we see water, that's very similar. That also represents the internal world. So this is like a double down of emotion and feeling. Now, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. For some Capricorns, maybe you're a little softer around the edges than you normally are. Maybe you're a little more sentimental. Maybe your emotions are just a little more touchy, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. That could be beautiful, soft, and nurturing. So I do like it for that aspect. This is a great card for creativity. When I think of the Queen of Cups, this is someone that you can speak to. This is someone that will lend an ear if you're having issues. So I really like it. Now, the only downside to Queen of Cups energy, sometimes the emotion can get a little too intense. So watch out for the emotional ups and downs. But again, she's great for imagination, creativity, all that good stuff. And watch out for any sort of emotional suppression. So if you're going through a bit of a rough one and you're like pushing it down, 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 Queen of Cups could represent that. You might need some sort of release for that energy. But we're just going to let her chill out. She's hanging out with her koi fish. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Cappies. What do we got? While we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. I did like the energy around you last week. The reading was titled An Unexpected Win. Now, I always say wins come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it could be monetary, sometimes it's a work thing, sometimes it's interpersonal relationships. But the big overarching theme to me was like something kind of going way better than expected, or just something popping in out of the blue. So I hope you had one. And just know, even if that didn't come in for you yet, this energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. So it was very claimable, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Capricorn. What do we got in late January? Thank you. Hey, yeah, there's one of your power cards. So we have a lot of queen energy showing up here. Beautiful Queen of Pentacles. Remember, not gender specific. But this is most definitely a Capricorn power card. We're just going to let her chill out right there by the amethyst. Let's get a couple more here for Capricorn, please. I mean, if you're dealing with another earth sign, that could be it as well. But let's see what we have. Thank you. All right, lots of people. So we have the King of Swords himself. All right, totally different vibe than what we've been seeing. Let's get one more here. What do we got? Thank you. Interesting. Yeah, so there's a really strong push of energy towards the back end. We have Judgment, and you also have a bonus card, which is the Chariot, Cancer Collective. I'm picking up a lot of people for some reason, Capricorn. So I'm not sure if this is you being social or this is just a lot of energy that's like being pulled your way. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I like what I'm seeing here. There's a nice mixture of elements, and I always feel like it's important to look at the elements because it tells us the areas of life that could be highlighted or where how the energy is flowing. And we have earth, air, water here in the bonus. This is a major arcana. I kind of give it water energy, but either way, you see it has that nice flow to it. It's like segmented. All the energy seems to be showing up in a different way. But yeah, the way it flows, like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of things whipping around. Earth, that's your power zone, that's your power element, can represent your feelings or sense of security, your equilibrium. Earth can also represent money, finances, work, and career. It's big for home and family and living situation. The downside to Earth, sometimes it could move a little slower than we'd like it to move. In the center, we have the total opposite vibe with the swords. That's the air element that deals with the mind. It's very logical and pragmatic. It can represent strategy and planning. Uh, it's really smart. It's very sharp, and it could represent taking in information. The downside, and yeah, it can be communication as well, but the downside to air, sometimes it could be a little cold and detached and a little flighty. So you see what I mean? We have very solid, a little flighty. Back end here, judgment. I give that scorpionic type of energy, so it can be water, especially with this one over here. We have a big influx of powerful, rushing, watery type of energy, which to me, yeah, I mean, we already spoke about the internal world, but I'm just picking up a lot of people for some reason. Let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. Position number one, Queen of Pentacles. Now, as mentioned, that is one of your power cards. It could be another Earth sign as well. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. And I already mentioned it with the Queen of Cups in the beginning. Queens represent the internal aspect of the suit. So when I see the Queen of Pentacles, nice, cool. This is someone that's like nice, solid, and secure, or it represents your sense of security. She is also huge when it comes to blessings and abundance. I always say the Queen of Pentacles is very similar to the Empress to me. So I think of abundance, your cup runneth over. It's very fruitful, beautiful aspect of the divine feminine. So we love the Queen of Pentacles here. But the downside to her, yeah, sometimes it could be an energy that's a little set in its place. It could be a little bit of a stubborn energy. I'm not calling you that. I'm just saying the way the energy shows up, it's kind of immovable. So we're going to need to take a close look at her. And as I already mentioned, there's like a lot of people showing up for some reason that we're going to want to dig into deeper. Okay, so whether it's like the energy that you're feeling off of other people, or people you're actually dealing with, it could be a whole variety of different things. We're not just going to go by the zodiac signs alone. But in the middle, we have the King of Swords. Now, big air sign vibes, so Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And kings represent control of their suit, whereas the queens represent the internal, kings represent control and direction. And the King of Swords, as I mentioned, it's very logical, pragmatic, smart, intelligent. This is a huge determination type of energy where it's like when I set my mind to something, I will not give up on it. So I love the intelligence there. This is a big card for planning and strategy. So whether it's advice from spirit saying like, hey, Capricorn, whatever it is you're dealing with, step by step by step, you need a little bit of structure. Or maybe someone you're connected to might be in the planning strategy phase of something, especially with all these people showing up. Now, the downside to the King of Swords, it can be very stern. It could be an energy that's like very serious. I already mentioned the cold and detached. Sometimes this could be mean. And the King of Swords can show up sometimes when something is either serious or needs to be taken seriously. So we'll look at him further. Now, moving to the back end, and we're just going to breeze through this quick. We do have judgment, which sometimes could be literal judgment calls. Hopefully, you're not feeling judged. It could be decisions, being at a crossroads. This is a huge karmic card, and the energy is Plutonian, as I mentioned, so it's like explosive, it's unstoppable. Once this energy gets going, there's no slowing down. So we need to see, all right, is this a change? Is this spiritual energy? What's happening here? Judgment can also sometimes represent something popping back up or returning. So we want to see, especially with the karmic cycles. And then right on the very back end, as we get judgment where it belongs, we have the Chariot. Now, the thing with the Chariot is it could be someone from the Cancer Collective. It is also an action card, very similar to Judgment. Powerful, determined, we're rocking and rolling. It could represent distance and travel as well, but it's either coming or going quick. It's an energy that's moving with purpose, and the downside, it could be a little aggressive. So as you can see, when we go from the King to Judgment to the Chariot, all this energy on the back end is pretty aggressive, but I think you'd be all right with it. I want to dive deeper on all the Capricorn. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What's happening for the Cappies? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Queen of Pentacles. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Capricorn, could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Queen of Pentacles here, please? What is she doing? Could it be telling us something about you? Maybe another person. So many people. We have almost every element out here. Now we got our good pal, the King of Cups, aka Kyle of Cups himself without a beard. He's just chilling out. I love the fact that it's showing up in the upright. I always say when you mix water and earth, there's a lot of potential. This is like a recipe for abundance here. I will say this for a lot of Capricorns. I know a lot of you can be very stoic, but we're all human, right? We all have certain feelings, whether we can control them or not. When I see one of your power cards with the King of Cups, it's like, oh, I'm feeling some big things. I'm feeling some big feelings. So for you, you might need to handle that whatever way is easiest for you. And that could be good. As mentioned, it could be feeling very sentimental and softer, and oh, I'm watching a movie on TV and it makes me shed a tear. But at the same time, it could be very much up and down, especially with the king, because that's a full expression. So just watch for the emotional ups and downs in this time. But I like it. The King of Cups, it's all about love and emotion. It's usually pretty nice and balanced. But the one thing I can't let go of is the amount of people showing up here, like with the Queen in the very beginning. Now we got the Queen of Pentacles, King of Swords, the King of Cups. Even these feel very peoply on the back end. So again, whether it's you feeling the energy of a group of people or you're just dealing with something that has a lot of facets, a lot of complexity, it doesn't feel bad to me, but you might be a people magnet. So if you're one of those Capricorns where you really value your privacy, and you value a little bit of solitude and quiet, this energy might be a little frustrating because it's like people coming at you, coming at you. And we'll see if that continues as we move forward. But yeah, let's keep going. So watch out for the emotions. I like it. I think it's okay for the vast majority of you. It just feels very sentimental. So let's go. Let's go in on the King of Swords. Maybe we'll get another person. I wouldn't be surprised with all the people that keep showing up. So why is the King of Swords here? Okay. All right, so we have the Seven of Cups in the upright, very strategic, very, very strategic. And again, whether that is advice for you from Spirit, the King of Swords with the Seven of Cups, I'm getting several different things. Either one, this is someone that needs to plan their approach with whatever it is they're dealing with, where it's like make a plan, make a structure, and stick to it. So if that vibes with something you're already doing, then great. But this is a huge energy of brainstorming, where it's like, I got something on the mind, I can't get it off my mind, and I'm going to do this, that, and this. So like, there's a lot of thought here. There's a lot of mental intensity, what I'm picking up. Now, the Seven of Cups, it could be options, paths, choices. It's also a card of daydreams and fantasizing and just being up in the mind. So, yeah, the King of Swords with this, it is either needing to plan something out or someone is in the planning phase of something where it's like, all right, that's not by accident. Someone's acting a certain way purposefully. That's a vibe I'm picking up. But again, lots of people, lots of people. So if you're sensitive to energy, just watch out for that. Maybe that's why we have this emotion in the background, because for some Cappies you might be feeling things that aren't necessarily yours. Let's keep going. So yeah, we got the planning, we got the strategy going on here, lots of stuff in the mind. Let's go in on judgment. We'll see what that has, and we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is judgment here, please? Thank you. Yeah, it's an energy that's coming at you. It's like coming to you. So we have the Nine of Wands in reverse underneath it. Now, the good thing, I'm just going to tell you what I felt first, and then I'm going to break it down to the subsequent messages that started showing up. For a lot of you, this could absolutely be a certain level of magnetism you have. So again, if you're like private and more of a solitude type of person, it's like this energy's flocking to me. So your phone might be blowing up more so than normal. It's like, all right, well, here they come, Capricorn, or here it comes. So especially if you're watching this for relationship things, there's like this draw of pulling someone or even multiple people right at you. If it's not that, if it's something else, this could just be a breakthrough of some kind. Because when I see Judgment, the Plutonian change based energy with the Nine of Wands in reverse, this card can normally represent barriers, blockages, things that are getting in the way. So in reverse under Judgment, it's like boom, like an explosive breakthrough in an area of life. So I still think the energy for most Capricorns looks very beneficial. So don't be surprised if you have a breakthrough in one of the major areas of your life. But aside from that, there is this magnetism that I've been picking up like ever since the beginning of the reading. So you might be hearing from people you haven't heard from in a while, where it's like this energy is coming to you. So like even if you're just minding your own P's and Q's, just in your own lane, it's like this energy is coming your way. And again, cross watchers, just however it hits, but there's this magnetic pull that I'm picking up this week. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadows. So, very intriguing. Lots of other people's energy showing up this week. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we got the Queen of Pentacles, King of Cups in the upright, beautiful. This could represent a certain sentimentality that you might have, or you might be a little softer around the edges. Things might be hitting you in the feels more so than normal. Aside from that, like the people, we've been getting this draw since the very beginning where it's like I'm pulling this in even if I'm not trying. So just watch out for the emotional ups and downs. Moving to the center, we have the King of Swords with the Seven of Cups in the upright. This to me feels a little bit more planned out, more strategic. So this could be spirit saying like, hey, Capricorn, whatever it is you're dealing with, make a structure, make a plan, and follow it to the T. Either that or someone you're connected to might be in the planning phase of something. Moving to the back end, we have Judgment with the Nine of Wands in reverse. Beautiful. So again, the magnetism, like here they come, here it comes. Like you might be getting a lot more texts and calls than you normally do, Capricorn, because this energy is like a vortex pulling it in. But aside from that, this could also be a major breakthrough in a certain area of life. So I'm pretty optimistic about your energy this week. So yeah, please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for the cappies. Let's see what's happening. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got in the shadows? Okay. Yeah, Ten of Swords. So I always say this card comes out so much when we look at shadow side, shadow work, things like that. And this doesn't mean like, hey, you got a Ten of Swords moment coming your way. To me, it's more so an energy that's lingering underneath the surface. So for some of you, of course, Ten of Swords could represent endings and pain and rough and tough things. So absolutely make sure you're taking care of yourself and being kind to yourself with what we saw in the main part of the spread, where it's like, be kind to yourself. And I know Capricorns normally hold themselves to a very high standard. You don't always have to be 100%. You don't always have to be A1, right? So just why, like, there's something here about self-love and self-care and being kind to yourself. The kindness that you extend to other people, you should extend to yourself as well. But yeah, the Ten of Swords in the shadows, it could tell us like, hey, maybe now's a good time to start digging into some past stuff, past pain, past shadow work, and resolving it within. So that's the main thing I'm picking up. I don't feel like it's anything we need to be nervous about, Capricorn. It's very common in the shadows. But that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details, the January subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or if you'd like to see what 2026 has in store for you, you can book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The January schedule's already up, so you could go check it out and see what's available. It's going quick, but for the January subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's absolutely adorable and is great for readers of all skill levels. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments from today's reading which card spoke to you the most. Even if the reading didn't quite hit, which card was giving you those warm and fuzzies or really caught your attention. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.